G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to take you through the decisions I make when refurbishing a raised garden bed such as this one. Just like an engineer project managing a building demolition, or perhaps a elite athlete competing at the highest level, us backyard gardeners also have many crucial decisions to make in the garden, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Well, stakes are always higher when you put them in a raised garden bed. But you know what I mean. Let's get into it. Now I've got a lot of decisions to get through. I don't want to muck around, so you'll probably see quite a few jump cuts. What's a jump cut, you say? This is a jump cut. Well, technically it is. The first decision I'm going to make, apart from wanting to refurbish this bed, is to decide what to keep and what not to keep. Sometimes you get rid of everything in a garden bed and you just start from scratch. And other times there might be plants that you want to keep. We've got some beautiful looking sorrel in here. Nice, fresh, lush leaves. It's the right season for it. But you know what? I've got plenty of sorrel everywhere else. What I'll do is I'll probably rip these off, these tender leaves. We'll put them in the crisper. I'll get all of them I can, and we'll use them, some for dinner tonight, some for salads, lunches, whatever. I've also got 3 sets of chilies in here. I'm going to overwinter them because the plants are still quite young, even though they're looking a bit disheveled at the moment. So I'm going to work around those plants and make sure that I don't damage them too much, but I'm going to cut them right back. The rest can go. There's just weeds. There's even pumpkins in here. These pumpkins, well, I think they're past their use by. We've fair dinkum got the never-ending pumpkin vine growing here for over 12 months. These are the ones that have fallen off prematurely. I've sat them there to see if they would actually mature. Looks like this one here seems to have worked. That's okay. That's edible. That'll be good. But the rest of them, they can be dug into the garden, and that's what I'll do, turn them into worm food. And that'll be what'll happen to most of these weeds as well, these lush clover-like weeds. Yes, they've got some seeds in them, but it's not a big drama. They're not that invasive in the garden bed. I'll probably dig them all back in so that the worms can have a nice feed. What I don't want is those pumpkins to start growing. So I'm going to make sure I bury the seeds down deep so that they're not going to sprout and cover this bed. Anyway, let's start working this bed over. These chilies no longer need the stakes. Maybe next season, when they fluff up again and start getting a lot of fruit, I can put the stakes back in. Oh, that made the decision for me. You know what? I've got plenty of cayenne chilies. I think I will chuck this one. Be brutal with the pruning back on the chili plants. Now that I've trimmed this chili right back, I've noticed that on the left-hand side here, there are some tiny chili plants probably belonging to this one here. I'm going to try to keep them or preserve them as much as possible, and then hopefully in spring they'll turn into really good plants. I might even transplant them to other parts and thicken this bed up a little bit more with this type of chili. I've also noticed that there are some ants in this bed. Plenty of them in fact, and they're running all the way along the inside. I've got a hugelkultur bed, which means I've packed logs and sticks and organic matter in the base of this bed. So there's plenty of room for animals and microbes and even ants to nest in here. Now, I don't care about ants in the garden. They do a good job cleaning up a lot of problems, and they also keep away a lot of pests. People say, but Mark, they can harvest aphids. But you don't get a lot of aphids in the veggie garden, perhaps on the fruit trees, but I don't really worry about it here in the main garden. So unless they are an invasive species, like say fire ants, which fingers crossed they never come here in this part of the world, well they are in other parts of Queensland, but thankfully not here yet, and hopefully they never will be. Unless they're that type of species, I don't worry about them in the garden beds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a big trench, not disturbing those plants that I've left in here. I won't disturb those roots, but I'll dig a nice big trench straight down the middle, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with this in a sec. And now I'm going to throw these pumpkins in. Ugh, yuck. Right at the bottom. Oh, yeah. Squash them down. That one there, right there. And last one here. All rotten and sloppy and yucky. Oh, I think I'll wash my hands in a bit of dirt. Now on top of those squashed pumpkins, I'll throw in some of that green. Minus the roots. Because that can be pretty invasive, the old sorrel. And I don't want it coming back up into the garden bed. It'll feed the worms and other things in this bed, make it its own little environment, its own ecosystem, and it'll also break down into a nice fertilizer as well for the plants to take up. Cover that over. Too easy, lemon squeezy. Look, there's a little lizard there. And a grub. Bye-bye. It could be at this point, or you might have made it earlier on, or even right at the end of what you're going to grow next in this bed. And I'm thinking corn red poppet. Sounds great. It's not going to cut it though. I'm afraid poppet isn't going to cut it because it's not corn season at the moment. So instead, we're going to go with some scarlet runner beans. I've only got 3 of them and I don't know why, and it's not labelled. But we'll see how they go. Hopefully they're viable. But as insurance, I've got these Blue Lake climbing beans. They're a little bit old too, but hopefully they'll come up as well, and we'll have a couple of different varieties of beans growing in this bed now because it's been season, and whilst we're waiting for those chilies to come back again. So we're making good use out of the season. Well, the soil level's a bit low in places, so I think I might just top this up. I've got some soil over there, and I'll just add a few wheelbarrows full into this just to raise that level a little bit more. You could add compost to this bed. I think the soil's rich enough. I'll just use a little bit of extra fertilizer on top, and that should be the bee's knees. Now I'll just add a little bit of blood and bone fertilizer to the top of this. Not a lot because it's a pretty fertile bed, and the soil that I'm putting in is a premium soil anyway. So just a little bit of fertilizer on top should do the trick. Give this a decent water in, otherwise the fertilizer might start to burn the seedlings or the seeds that are starting to come through once I plant them. Now, next thing I want to do is suppress any weed growth coming up here, and I do that by mulching. Mulching also adds value to the soil, and that's going to be good for the roots of these plants and around the base, and it will also protect them a little bit through the end of this winter. But also it will help protect the young seedlings that will soon be growing up here, hopefully. Well, that's the mulching done, but since I'm growing beans, there's something else I really need to do. Runner beans need a trellis to grow on, so I better put a decent sized trellis in here so that they can have something to climb up. Might be best just to do a bit of measuring. I've got these flexible tie things with wire inside it. See where it's torn there? I just get them from the local hardware store. You just twist them on. I think I go over like that. And let's get there. Yep, twist him up. And let's anchor it down there. Twist it around. That'll be pretty good. I've decided it probably does need a post in the middle here, just for extra support. It's a bit flimsy. The old star picket driver. Yes. See, that's a workout and a half. Zip ties. That's the zip ties done. Okay, now let's make a row and sew. I want the scarlet runners to be the hero, so I'm going to plant them in the middle and then I'll plant the blue lakes in between. Let's push that mulch back just a bit. Wonderful. Right, now I'm going to lay the beans out, put them on top first, get the spacing right. Let's go one right up the guts, right there. And then let's go one either side, about 25 centimetres to 30 centimetres apart, or maybe just nearly a foot apart. Now these other climbing beans, let's just scatter them along the outside here. If the scarlet runners don't come up, well, so be it. These other beans should be able to be trained in and around because there's enough of them. Perfect. So they're pretty close, they're a few inches apart. Push them down a few inches, cover over the top, too easy. Push them down, cover over. And in about 7 days, there should be some shoots coming up, hopefully. Normally I would water these seeds in, but I'm not going to because the soil is already pretty wet. And beans as it is, you don't want to overwater them as they're starting to grow because you can rot them in the ground. So I'm not going to chance it. I know the soil's wet enough, so let's just leave it at that. No more steps. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can see just how many decisions that we had to make this bed or to refurbish it. I know I'm mucking around a little bit. It's not the end of the world. Maybe it's not high level, but it is for me. And the stakes are still pretty high. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a really big decision and give it a big thumbs up. That's a good decision, I would say. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, share this video around because that really does help my channel out heaps. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.